Morning and welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you can hear me. It's a bit noisy around here because there's some major engineering works going on. So today I'm going to go through one of my many bikes. Today the Ct125, the Honda Ct125. This is the first edition. So not everything was right with it. It was a bit gutless, to say the least. For me personally, I was going to trade the bike in or sell the bike. It simply didn't do what I wanted it to do. So I took the bike to an engineering or mechanical place in Bangkok, and they managed to sort the thing out. And I'll go through what they actually done to make this bike now really, really good. So this is the CT Gen 1. Modifications that have been done to it. You can see I built a carrier on the side. Carries, in this example, 2 3-litre containers, one for fuel, one for water. However, this rack has been designed so it can take a 5-litre as well, which is quite useful. The large rack in the back. The rack at the rear is designed to carry a 60-litre box. Fits in straight away, and also obviously I strap it down so it doesn't move. But 60 litres is a good start. I also carry a smaller configuration of the green canvas bags, which are varying sizes, but I quite like it because you can put, for example, your cooking stuff in one, your clothes in the other, and sort of general stuff in the bigger one. And I use that recently, very useful. The side exhaust comes standard silver. I didn't like the silver, so I painted it with the heat-resistant black paint. Just looks a bit better with the rest of the bike. I also carry a various assortment of bags, and the reason being it's really useful to have obviously water and bits and pieces that you can put into stuff, and not really need to worry about getting to it easily because it's easily accessible. I also have a bag here which I can put my phone in and any ancillary cables I need to use. Again, the bags, you can see the bags, not expensive. One thing about being here is a bag like this fits nice in there, very, very snug. It cost about, in terms of English money, about £3, so about $5. This bag here, it's got a draw cord which pulls it tight, quite big. So it's really good. You get a set of waterproofs or something in there, which is very, very useful. And the one on this side fits a big bottle of water, so that's quite good. And here we got 2 smaller ones, useful for keys, torches, and small things like that. Bottle containers on the side. Both sides have exactly the same type of container, and you can see the side protection on this side and obviously on the other side. Handguards, very useful, especially when you're going through the jungle, when you've got pieces of bamboo and lots of nasty spiky stuff would tend to come back and smack you in the arm. The mirrors are non-standard. You get the like Mickey Mouse eared ones, and I really don't like them. They're okay on like bikes that you go around town on, but they just don't fit this type of bike. So this is a Honda mirror, but it's got a wider field of view, which I prefer on this bike. The center part, this is my GPS fitting. Camera goes onto here. Use this for a telephone or a smaller GPS. And some people might think this is a bit crazy, but when you're on a trail in the jungle especially, and you're going left, right all the time, it just keeps you knowing which direction is north, east, west or south. It's just a quick reference for me. And here, this one here, that's the bowl. It's a container for a small speaker, small speaker, but a powerful little speaker, which actually you can wire into your GPS or any other thing like a phone. Get either audio in terms of music or directions from any sort of nav aid you're using. my spotlights are actually mounted on the rubber grommets on the indicators. And before anyone says, well, they're gonna tear the indicators on, these have been on here for about 2 years and made absolutely no difference. And they don't vibrate. They're actually pretty good. They're a good solid light. Another upgrade is, I forgot to mention, is the mudguard, the front mudguard or fender, depending where you live. Yeah, non-OEM, but made by these guys. Very, very nice. Same color, obviously. They make this whole series of mudguards are making the same colors as the bike, so they fit really nicely. Very easy to fit, and gives you all that much clearance when you need it, which is really useful. One other thing which is available here, I don't know if you can buy it anywhere else, is the seat cover. You've got a mesh type seat cover, and underneath here it's like a gel seat, and that's held on by big strips of Velcro so it doesn't move, and then the net seat goes on top, keeps the whole thing in one piece. And as you can imagine, the comfort rating is much better than the standard seat. The plastic screen here, it's not really decorative. What it's for me especially, is it protects my electronic socket here, so it just stops some of the water getting in there. The front has a very sturdy rack. I normally put the tent on there, and I'll put a picture on there so you can see what I do. Like I've said before on other videos, I don't use the tent bags. I use ocean bags, waterproof bags, and I put the tent inside them. Much more reliable and much easier to pack. Okay, things people want to know about the engine. Okay, the upgrades to this engine are as follow. New camshaft, racing camshaft for the Ct125, new intake pipe, fuel hose connector. It has racing clutch springs. It has a racing oil pump, a new gasket, a new header, a Shift Pro in terms of the cam, a much better system. I saw it, really, really well made. Timing chains, cam chain tensioner, the rollers, the cam chain guides, gaskets, and also they changed the rear sprockets. The sprockets on here are a 14 on the front and a 40 on the back. Also did a reflash and a dyno test and a brand new drain cock underneath there because I put the wrong one in. So the question is, what difference did all those upgrades make? Well, first of all, 3.2 more horsepower, and on a small engine like this, that's a lot. In terms of performance, the acceleration from the start is hugely improved. It's much, much quicker from the start, which was a real problem. Half the problem getting up the hills was you just couldn't get up them because you didn't have the initial power to get up there. So that's changed. It goes, before 86 kilometers an hour, it does 120. Not that I want to do 120, but you can sit at 90, 100 easily on this bike now. And when you're touring, especially when you have to use the road bits, it just makes it far more comfortable. In terms of power, going up and down trails, now really, really useful. The cost of all of this, believe it or not, was not that astronomical. In English, it was £268 for all that work. And in dollars, it'd be about $350. So a lot of work and not a huge cost. But in terms of performance, a massive difference. This bike was really relying on those upgrades to stay here. If the upgrades hadn't worked, this bike would have gone. So that is my Ct125. What do I think of the Ct125? I think of the Ct125, especially Gen 1, standard. Great little commuting bike. Great bike for flat trails. But if you're serious about doing adventure and carrying any sort of cargo. I mean, not even a lot of cargo. You're talking 40, 60 litres or something. This bike will struggle going uphill. I've seen it on a lot of guys' videos going around different things. Some people doing the TAT and stuff, trying to get up a hill. Nigh on impossible. The adjustments, the differences they made on this bike when I took it to NK Racing was quite incredible. The list, I'll try and put the list onto the actual video so you can see what I've done. The cost wasn't astronomical, but the difference I made to the bike was huge to the extent it stayed. I was so disappointed when I bought the bike. The first ever ride I went out, I took it up probably what we say in England, a 1 in 5 or a 1 in 6 hill. Lightly loaded just for a weekend, one night. And I had bikes that are 20 years old, Honda Wave 100Ss, going past me up the hill because it simply had no power whatsoever. And I was down in first gear, and it was utterly ridiculous. And what really sealed the fate that weekend was, it was a small bank, about a 1 in 4 incline, probably about 2 meters in terms of height, and it wouldn't go up it. And I had to push the bike up it, and you can imagine everyone was finding that highly amusing, the brand new Ct125 that just couldn't get up a bank. So the bike took a big hit from everyone there. Everyone thought it was pretty useless. I took it to Cambodia on one trip. But Cambodia's flat, where we did Central and stuff, it was very, very flat, so there was no issues with it. And one thing I would say about this bike is, bar the engine, everything else is absolutely fantastic. The riding is brilliant. The shocks, I've never changed the shocks. The shocks don't need changing. The rear shocks and the front shocks are really well done on this bike. It's such a comfortable bike to ride. The ergonomics of it is fantastic. They didn't get the engine right, or they've just restricted the engine to such an extent, because you can feel the powers there. It's just you can't get it, and that's what's the most frustrating thing. So unfortunately, I had to go to NK Racing, and these guys sorted the engine out, and as a result, the bike is excellent, the way it should be, the way it should have been when I got the bike. At the end of the day, you're paying for a Ct125, and you're expecting a 125 performance, and you're not getting it. You're getting something well short. Certainly on the newer versions, the Gen 2s and Gen 3s, probably a lot better. But the Gen 1s, not that impressive until you do the modifications. And again, I'll put them on the video so you can see what I've done. Okay, see you next time.